Hi, everybody, and welcome to our 2020-2021 Back to School Night. I am Mrs. Kuhn, and I am the Supplemental Emotional Support Teacher here at Mechanicsburg Middle School. For those of you who don't know me, just a little bit about me. This is my 13th and a half year of teaching. I've experienced teaching kindergarten through 12th grade in all special education areas, and I've taught in school districts for the CAIU and at vocational schools. My family and I live here in Mechanicsburg. I have a daughter, Madison, who's in 3rd grade at Shepherdstown, and a son, Joel, who is in kindergarten, and my husband is a design engineer for a local business. Some favorites about me is I love spending time with my family and friends. My kids are heavily involved in sports, so we go to a lot of sporting events. The beach is my happy place, and we are very lucky, even with COVID this year, to get to go to North Carolina to spend some time at the beach. I also come from a very big hunting family, so my husband and I hunt with my family during deer season, and we are diehard Pittsburgh fans, so you will see Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates, and I love to talk about that with my students. Here at MMS, I teach 6th grade Emotional Support and TES English, 7th grade ES and TES English, 8th grade ESTS and English. Social skills, I have 2 sections here in the school that I cover all students that are taking social skills class for the building. And this year I am also teaching a virtual social skills class for Keola students. And I also run some structured study halls. For English this year, you can see here, I've got our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade curriculum and units that we'll be discussing. So in 6th grade, we have started with our man versus self, and we are going to be starting the book Wonder this week. In 7th grade, we are working on our first unit, which is Power of Knowledge, and we will be starting the Wednesday Wars book next week. And in 8th grade, we have started our first unit on Consequence of Choice, and we will be starting Flowers for Algernon next week. Some in-class expectations. These shouldn't be unfamiliar to you or to your student. We want everyone to come to class prepared, make sure they're having their binders, folders, agendas, computer, making sure that that's charged, pencil, and a positive attitude. I want my students to be ready to actively participate in class. We're going to have class discussions, group discussions, and partner discussion. We're going to have a lot of discussion here as much as we can when we're in school on with this hybrid schedule, and working on staying on task during these conversations. I want my students to make sure they're completing all their work on time, all their assignments. I spend time at the end of each period making sure things are getting written down in agendas with due dates and making sure that the students turn work in on time. And communicate with myself or the staff that's in my room with me when you're struggling with a task or an assignment or project. I really encourage that the students are communicating openly with me. Remote day expectations. So this is a little new this year for everybody. So one thing that we need to be making sure is that students are checking their Gmail and their Google Classroom daily. Make sure to check both. One thing I keep telling my students specifically for my English classes is do not rely on the due date section of Google Classroom. There's a little box when you open a Google Classroom on the front page that has a due date. I am not using that section because we have students on A day and B day, and I'm posting all my assignments under the classwork tab in Google Classroom. So I've been modeling that since day 1 with the students. Every time I show them where an assignment is, we practice going under classwork, and the due dates are written with their classwork. We are making sure in English class that we go over the assignment that we're asking them to do on the remote day before they leave so that they can ask questions and they can see the due dates and they can write things down in their agenda. If they're unsure about an assignment, they get home, they just forget what we said or forget what they're supposed to do, I strongly encourage them to be emailing any of the staff members about assignments. And on Wednesdays, my 2 instructional assistants, Mrs. Schaefer and Miss Woofer, have Zoom links and Zoom set up, one in the morning and one afternoon, that students can get on for help. At this point right now, I'm doing appointment-only Zooms because I'm teaching all day, but my IAs can also Zoom with students throughout the day if they reach out to them. We want to make sure that they're completing and turning in assignments on time and that assignments are written in their agenda. This should be familiar to everyone. This was sent out by Mr. Yon through Sapphire, but we want to make sure that all the parents, and we've been talking about this a lot in class with students about how remote day attendance is looking. So if students are on and they're engaging and they're participating and they are working on those assignments that they're given for those remote days, they will be counted as present. If there's no evidence of engagement, they haven't opened the document, they haven't completed anything, and they haven't reached out for teacher help, then they will be marked absent in the grade book for that remote day. So I know this is something new this year, and we've been talking a lot about it, how important it is that they get on their Google Classrooms on their remote days and make sure that they're completing assignments. Because if they don't complete the assignment, not only will it hurt their grade, but it'll also hurt their attendance. If anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. Here's my contact information. I strongly encourage open communication with all my students' parents. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns about what's going on in class, what we're studying, or anything that your child may need. There is my school email address. I also have a Gmail that's linked to our Google Classrooms that I check as well. And there is also my phone number. I'm really excited about this year. I'm really glad that we're back in school and that I get to see everybody throughout the week. It is a different schedule, but I'm really proud of the students. They are adjusting well and getting into a good routine. So I think we are going to have a fantastic year. Again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate at all. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.